paddle hunt collection of gear. What's the duration of our trip this morning? Is it like
3 hours?
3 hours. 3 hours with Chelsea. Ah, there's our chauffeur. Well, actually not. He's just driving the car back. Morning. What do you got there? Oh, you got snacks for me. You ready to go? So we're officially on the road.
Show him the canoe.
Pretty hardcore canoe strapping techniques going on here. Forestry Trunk Road Bridge, the BRAZEAU River. That's what I live for. Well, first challenge. Paul seems to have sprung a leak. Or he took on some water in those last rapids we just passed. It looked like the other side was worse. I know. But I hit a couple big ones. I'll follow you now. Hey, buddy. First night out. Not the way we planned it. We lost a bit of gear.
We got a bit of a yard sale going on.
Got a bit of a yard sale. Here's what happened. Paul swamped his canoe and ended up dragging it downstream for, I don't know, a quarter mile and lost his main pack. So we're hoping we're going to find it somewhere downstream in the next day or two. I tipped my kayak in that hole. So this all stuff that we did not anticipate. We thought we were in the commerce section of the river. But we didn't get hurt. Our egos are bruised a little bit. Mine is anyway. And but we're dry now. Got a little fire. Feet are dry. I'm gonna regroup in the morning. We have a couple of days of nice weather, warm weather coming up, so dry our gear and plan B, which is going down river still.
I can't shoot that gun. I'll bet you that barrel might be bent.
Oh. Yeah, forgot to mention, Paul's rifle took a shellacking. Morning one. Sore as but we made it through the night. A little fire going. Paul's got a ton of firewood over there. I was carrying all that. Paul had a miserable night without his pad. Hopefully we find his pack downstream this morning. My pump for my kayak is somewhere over there on the other side of the river. There's our humble abode, grizzly bear protection. Say good morning, Paul. Come on.
Good morning. Well, took a little bit of a swim last night. Matt and I both ended up upside down in our watercraft. Lost one bag. One rifle is toast, but we're safe. And slept and warm and all that fun stuff.
So there was Paul's demise. His boat filled with water, and he lost it, and let it go right here, and walked so that he didn't land these guys. But I attempted. I didn't really have a choice. And they got me. And then we swam to there and set up camp just around that corner. There's our tarp. And there's my pump.
All right, a little recap of what caused us to end up in this predicament. My canoe hit that white water down there, began to fill with water because of all the rapids, and began to sink. As it sunk, it flipped, throwing me out. So I rode from those rapids down there, beside my canoe, all down here. It got to this point, and I had to let go and swim ashore here.
So we're at Camp 2. We made it downriver a little bit. Not as much as we would have liked, because we hiked it, because we don't want to get wet again. And BRAZEAU is relentless. The cliffs are relentless. Every turn we think, maybe we're out. Maybe this is it. Nope. We've set up camp. Camp 2, it's a much nicer camp. Hey, Paul. So as you can see, we have a nice beach here. It's a much nicer campsite. We hiked down there a little bit just to see what was up ahead. But I think it's a good plan. Better plan than riding those rapids out, because they look very similar to the ones that made me wet upriver. So yeah, we have a nice campsite, nice fire. We're comfy. Most of our clothes are dry. The important stuff is all dry now. Our base layers and our underwear and socks. Our sleeping gear is all dry. Well, mine is. Well, Paul has a sleeping bag, so the rest of his camp gear is soaked somewhere in his pack. Downriver, we haven't found it yet. My pump was dislodged as we were walking away this morning, just before we left Camp 1. My pump started floating downstream, so we didn't see it on the way down, so I'm assuming it's downriver somewhere. We're sharing my rations of food, so my 7 days is now turned into 3 days. We're being very good though. We're not eating lunch, we're munching on snacks, and we're only having dinner. Morning 2 diaries. It's a nice morning. It's colder than yesterday. Yep, morning 2. I got a good beard. So this is still morning 2. Just thought I'd share how Paul and I are communicating with our loved ones. Other loved ones. Yes, Paul, I love you. This is BRAZEAU satellite communicator. It's a new, different version of what most might know as the Garmin InReach, or the InReach Mini. Mini was my go-to before I found this little treasure. I had found it, looked at it quickly, didn't really research it much, and then Paul found it as well and mentioned it. And before I went ahead and bought myself a Mini, I researched it some more. The reviews were great. Outdoor Gear Lab that I love gave it good reviews. Actually got editor's choice reviews. It's neat because, so the one thing is you can't message directly from it like you can on the InReach. This one syncs to your phone. What's great about it is you can text or email through your standard iPhone or tablet or smartphone. Prices were reasonable, I guess. But yeah, it's been working great for us. We talk to our wives every morning, every night.
We're getting ready to leave Camp 2, start of day 3. There's where we spent last night. We are at the end of full day 2. So it's really day 3 since launch. Camp 3. Today was a rough day. This river isn't letting up. Say goodnight to our fans, Paul, because we're going to have fans after this one. Good night.
Morning 4. 3.
Morning 3.
Morning
day
3. Day 4. Trying to dry our socks. A little too close for comfort. We've discovered that they make really good fire. Not on purpose. Far. We're in for a good day. We're gonna get somewhere. Okay. Gotta wipe tears. There's a very emotional Paul. Well, hello. So for all the that this damn river has dealt us, we found this fucking pack. So now we have food for another 3-4 days at least. We have the rest of his clothes, the rest of my clothes, his tent, his pad. Woo!
Okay. Finally got myself together enough to show you what we found. Can you flip it here? Nope. Tent. 7 days worth of food. Woo! All right. It's almost 5 o'clock on Saturday. Matt and I have made land.
BRAZEAU yard sale.
BRAZEAU yard sale.
Save the Christmas tree for last. The BRAZEAU Christmas tree.
The stockings were hung. There's Matt looking sexy.
What's today? Morning 4? Anyway, this is Camp 5. Probably the best beach we've found so far. Sun's shining. We're on the north side of the river, so we're getting all that sun in this godforsaken river that's been kicking our ass. There's 3 pure blood Albertans. Guarantee there's a newfie on that boat. Yesterday blew by us as we're struggling through the rapids.
Going upstream.
They're going upstream with their big bore 454 jet boat, skipping on rocks. Oh yeah, side note, I just caught a nice freaking trout. What was that, about 15, 16 incher?
At least 16 inches.
About at least a 16-inch bull trout, which I wasn't aware of, but according to Paul are endangered. So we were nice, kind, though a nice meal of fish would have been delicious. We pulled the hook and let her go, and she swam off nicely. So yeah, this is our, so those monkeys that blew by us yesterday now blow by us again. Woo! Just rip roaring, no life jackets. Probably drinking Clamato to beat the hangover from yesterday. And here we're thinking how the we're gonna get out of here. So we have right behind me a lot of bush. I'd say about a kilometer hike if we decide to hike north from here to avoid going down river some more, which those guys just made it look like a piece of pie. Unreal. Anyway, or yeah, so those are our choices. We head north now to what will be our pickup point. We're close to, then we're gonna hike a logging road a bit, which will take us to a point where we think our loved ones can pick us up. Or we head down there. About what, Paul? 2 kilometers on the river? 1 to 2 kilometers on the river, which takes us to another point on the north side where there's a logging road as per our GPS, about 30 to 60 meters, so a couple hundred feet from the river. So we wouldn't have to haul all our gear a kilometer through the bush. So we haven't made the official decision yet, but I think if we can get our gear to dry today, which with the sun, We get a little bit of a breeze. Stuff should dry off nicely. It's very important because we're down to very few pieces of dry gear because it rained last night. Then we're going to make our decision whether or not we head downriver. We don't want to move now while gear is drying, that's for sure. Try to get everything dry. But yeah, Sunday morning. Get the old wave you stupid idiots, from the guys on the jet boat. Probably thinking we're nuts. Anyway. Anything to say, Paul?
Right on, brah.
Yo.
Sup?
So, I don't know. Did you see behind me and over there and there some logging roads that we thought were going to be a quick 1.5 hour hike. It's now 6. We left at 2. So we've been humping ass through. I wish I could illustrate. I wish I could have videoed, but we had to get through it. Up and down and up and down and up and down. Mountain after mountain. Well, I'm going to show you. We're in the foothills, obviously, so to show you how close, like the kind of foothills we're in. Zoom in here. There's the Rocky Mountains, ladies and gentlemen. We have been humping through the thick of the Alberta foothills. We are now in logging country, as you can see, plantations. Elk River Road is not far that way. This is where we came in to attempt this godforsaken river in the first place. So now we're just debating where to set up camp where these black flies aren't going to destroy us, where we won't get shot by some Aaron Albertan cowboy bullet, and where we can have a fire and maybe even throw a few mews. Maybe we can see some elk. Anyway, we'll figure that out and talk to you in a bit.
So here's our last night video blog. We we decided to cut and run and hike our way out of the canyon today. So we put on a ton of tough miles and are now sitting around a campfire 3 kilometers from the Elk River Road, where Ethan will pick us up tomorrow. Just had a sip of celebratory whiskey, ate two full campers meals for both of us, and are going to sleep very well tonight. And as the fire fades, we will see you all tomorrow.
So does the memory of the BRAZEAU.
Okay, here we are, leaving. I've lost track of what campsite these are, but leaving our last campsite for the hike out to the Elk River Road to meet Ethan. There's Matt. There's Matt's cannon. There's the BRAZEAU Canyon. I don't know. I don't have much else to say. Matt, you got anything?
It was a pretty cozy last campsite. Had a big hump under my air mattress, but it's fine. Some other hunters were nice enough to leave us a nice fire pit, and there's quite a setup here, so I might actually come back in a vehicle, like I said earlier on my camera, maybe even with my daughter, because she loves to hunt. And yeah, I think Olivia would be nice and cozy here, but we'll be coming by truck, and then we'll be hitting these cuttings and stuff, hopefully to see whatever was creaking and cracking this morning.
With a fire pit here. And then if you go back into the woods, they've got another big camping area. They've got another fire pit. And they actually have it set up to skin out game. They have 2 hanging poles that they leave, obviously, year-round. We'll talk to you later. It's not a freeze-dried donut.
I'm back. So I just thought I'd shoot this last little clip, because what would an Alberta adventure vlog be without a cup of Timmy? So yes, we are about halfway home. we stopped in for fuel and got ourselves a Tim Hortons coffee. Right, Paul?
Yeah.
Show the viewers your hands. No, not the fritter, you dummy.
We're in a car. It's a little bit of a mess, but
Nice.
I'm a delicate flower, Matt.
And our chauffeur. Don't crash, but look at the camera once. A nice young man who came, who dropped us off, left us to die, and then when we didn't die, he was nice enough to come get us. So now we're all on our way home.
Psalms quote.
Been a slice.